I know it looks brutal. I know it feels wrong, but this is one of the best things that you can do for your fruit trees. Hey Provident gardeners, today we are going to talk about pruning our fruit trees. And while I know it can be painful and difficult and scary, it really doesn't have to be. And it is one of the best things that you can do for the health of your fruit trees and to make sure that you have a really good harvest every year. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the way that I like to prune my fruit trees. And then we'll take a trip to Amanda's house where we'll prune her fruit trees for the very first time and show you what we're gonna do so that the tree will grow big and beautiful like this one. For me, pruning is an art form. I have a certain method that I like to do all of my trees, but there are many people who will tell you that apples and pears are best done with a central leader, kind of like this Christmas kind of tree that I have going on here. I don't do that with any of my apple trees or my pear trees. I'll show you what I do. Even though the experts recommend a central leader for apple trees and pear trees, I don't do that because for me, I love the look of having the open vase or umbrella or whatever you want to call it, but just that openness where I can actually climb in the middle of this tree if I want and get stuff out. It's got plenty of airflow, it reduces the diseases, and it's just my favorite way to do it. You can choose your favorite way, but this is a little hedgerow that we planted of apple trees. So the one down there ripens in August, and then all the way down here at the end is a black Arkansas that doesn't ripen until November. So throughout the growing season, I have different trees where I can harvest my apples from. And I love that. I think this is a beautiful way to prune. Sometimes some people won't prune at all. I think that it's really important that you go in and you cut off anything that's dead or diseased every year, no matter what. But if you do choose to prune, you will get so much more fruit. And for the most part, that's why I'm growing my trees. Here in my greenhouse, I use a little bit different of a method because space is at a premium. It's called a espalier. And what it does is you're able to train it on a fence or over an arch or into a shape if you want. But here, this is a really good way for me to take advantage of all of this space right over this sidewalk and be able to grow the tree. So I've changed, my scaffolding branches are all interwoven in here, and I have these beautiful little limes, and hopefully someday this tree is just gonna be big and gorgeous, but it's a very different shape, which means I prune it very differently. This is a pluary that I had bought last fall on clearance at a nursery for 25 bucks. It was a beautiful little tree, but it was kind of crazy everywhere. But look at how I pruned it. So I've got these 3 central leaders so that I've got this umbrella or this vase thing going on in the middle. And all of the branches that are growing, I've got them growing toward the outside. Yes, it's painful when you're first going through and cutting it all and it kind of looks a little bit naked, but it is one of the best things that you can do for your trees for future health and to produce a lot of fruit and just to make them look beautiful in the future. When you are pruning, it really matters where you make the cut, whether it's here or here. These little buds are gonna tell you the direction the plant wants to go. In this, because this tree is here, I don't want to cut it here at all. Do you see that? Because if I do, if I cut this one here, it's gonna make this branch go up here. I want all of it going out. But if I cut here, then this, oops, oh, it should have been a little bit closer. If I cut it right here, then this is gonna go right out here, which is exactly what I want to have happen. So let's look at this one. This little branch, like these are all too close together. On this one, if I cut it here, it'll go out there. Here, it's gonna go this direction. But actually, I think this little branch needs to go all together, just be off. When I'm cutting, because now this can shine. Amanda's trees are about the same age as these. So let's head on over there and see what we can do and help her be really brave when we make some very hard cuts. My greatest hope after this moment, Amanda, is that we can still be friends.
We'll see.
So you planted these trees a year ago?
Almost a year ago, yep.
Okay. And you can tell that the nursery hasn't done anything to shape them into any special way. And so they've just been allowed to grow for the year and establish roots, which is fine. But now we've got to do some very painful things to make the trees be good. My favorite by far method for pruning the trees is the open upside down umbrella method, where you've got all the light and air in the center of the tree. And so that's what we're gonna go for today. So before we do anything, Amanda, you wanna spray? We're gonna spray the tips of our pruners with alcohol.
I just have to remember, keep a long-term perspective.
We are doing this because you're gonna get more fruit. The tree will be healthier and it will be more aesthetically pleasing. It will be beautiful.
And then the purpose of spraying the pruners.
Oh, why are we spraying the pruners?
Is to prevent spreading disease if one tree has.
From tree to tree. And all there is in that's just alcohol.
Yep, just rubbing alcohol.
Now I have 2 of these really cool electric pruners. And if you click the card in the corner, I'll take you to a video where I learned about these, and they are now my go-to favorite because I can do a lot of pruning in a short period of time and it doesn't make me tired. Amanda gets the old-fashioned ones, which are great. She's going to be using bypass pruners. So we're going to walk to the tree. We're going to look at it from all angles. And we're going to kind of decide if there's anything dead or diseased that just needs to go. Now, what I'm seeing here, if I look at this little branch right here, this branch actually looks diseased. If you can see, it's like cracking and kind of dead in there. We don't want anything like that on the tree. So the first thing we do, anything that's dead, damaged, or diseased, it's gone. The rest of the tree, I think, looks really good. So the next thing we're gonna do is decide on our scaffolding branches. Because we're doing the upside down umbrella, we want to select 3 to 5 that make sense. And normally, I like my trees to start lower than this, but I think the area that makes sense here is right here. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. So
okay.
We've got obviously 2 here, right?
Yep.
And then maybe this
one?
I
think that one. And then we've got 3 good ones. So whatever we do here, we need to protect those.
Okay.
So let's start by cleaning up everything below that. I'm looking, you could theoretically use this one, but it doesn't look like an overly healthy, strong one. So I would say let's just get rid of it. Okay. So let's get rid of everything below these 3.
Okay.
Oh boy. You could do this, you could do this.
Oh, I'm gonna let you do that one. It's a little thick.
Okay, and the other thing we should talk about here is that we want to do it as close as we can. If I were to like cut this here, see how it's not close? This is going to encourage this to branch out this way. So we want it right against the tree. Do you see how nice my pruners are? You got it? All right, so now we've got this nice clean area here.
I'm sorry, tree.
I'm sorry, tree.
Tree,
you will be so much happier. And if you look, the best time to prune the tree is really in the late winter. And so we've got little blossoms that are threatening to come out. So this tree really wants us to do this. Now, as we look here, we've got our scaffolding branches. I always like to keep the tag. So hold on,
It's attached in 2 places.
It is attached in 2 places.
Now, since you just mentioned the tag, this is a peach tree.
Yes.
The method you're using, does it apply to all fruit trees?
Okay, and so we talked about that just a little bit before I came over to Amanda's, but a tree is a tree. And they will tell you that some, like any pit fruit, this is the best one for it. But if I'm not doing espalier, I do this to all my trees because this is the way I want. Unless I'm training it along a fence or over an arch, this is my preference. So tree pruning can be very artistic. The one time when you might want to be careful about this upside down umbrella one with a pit fruit or with the non-pit fruits is if you really, really have cold winters. We're zone 6, we get down to, -10 sometimes, and we're okay, but sometimes you can cause the tree to crack right here. So you would want to be careful of that. If you live in Alaska, do your own research. Now, as we're looking at this, do Do you want to try and pull that off, Amanda? Because I think this branch needs to
No.
go.
It's such a pretty branch, though.
It is such a pretty branch. But I think what we want to do is see these two. These are really good. We're looking at a 45 to 60 degree angle and opening at the center of the tree. So what I think we should do is cut this off right here.
So
then you've
are
got
we wanting
this.
to take out anything that's too much like into the middle?
Into the middle.
Okay, or
right?
like crossing, like I'm already seeing these two.
Because the sweeter the fruit, or the more the sun, the sweeter the fruit. So you want really good sun exposure. So close your eyes.
Oh, that one.
Okay, but do you see what that did here? I know we're so sad that that one's gone, but right now it's opened up and it's a whole lot better. So these are just little outside ones that need to be gotten rid of.
Okay, this looked a lot easier than it. Forget it.
Just cut it off and
I was
redo
trying
it.
to salvage the tag, but then it got tangled on
Okay.
the little branch.
Okay, so now that we've done that, okay, and this is a lower one, so we want to get rid of that one, but we want to keep this. We're going to get rid of this little guy right here because it's across the center. Now let's look at it again. We're not quite an upside down umbrella, right? So we got to decide what it is how we're going to fix this, because you kind of sort of could leave these two if we cut this off and let this one grow this way. Cut this off and let it grow this way. Should we try that?
I mean, we can always cut off more,
Okay, let's.
but we can never come back and reattach.
Except for the fact that it grows. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is crossing over the center.
So we're leaving
and I'll leave
this.
those two. I think so. What do you think? Because when you look at this, it's going to grow. I think it'll be okay. And we're going to take this one. Hold on. And this. And this. And see, we could keep this, except for this one is going to shade this one. So we're not going to get good fruit on it. Now, theoretically, okay, this little guy's got to go because it's dead. Nothing's shading this one. Nothing's shading this one, but this is damaged here. So let's look at this. We would want the next branch, we don't want it to grow this way and we don't want it to grow this way. We'd like one that's kind of going to grow up, but I don't see, like this one's going to grow that way. So you don't have a lot to choose from. Most of this branch kind of looks dead. So maybe we should just chop that all off together because it's not looking real happy.
Goodbye.
It was the non-negotiable 3Ds. Okay, now step back and look at it again. Oh, this still kind of bothers me.
So if we take this whole thing off, then there's like nothing coming this way.
Right. So, and when we go to prune, so if these little buds, whatever direction the bud is growing, so this branch is going to grow up this way. This branch is going to go over there. So if we wanted to do something new or something, we could do, like if this one had a bud going off that way, but there's not one. So this is what I would say with this. I would say, leave this as it is, and then when you prune next year, see what new growth you have and see what you want it to look like. Makes sense?
Sounds good.
How sad are you? Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
No, but I will say, in our previous home, or at our previous home, we had a nectarine tree, and we never pruned it. We never thinned the fruit, because it's like, but it's there, and it's pretty, and it worked so hard to grow that. If you do not prune your trees, they will prune themselves. Because it got so weighed down, these huge, giant, beautiful branches just broke off.
Yeah, they do need to be pruned. I think they need to be pruned.
Yes.
So this is a good start. Maybe, but we'll decide that next year. I'm so proud of Amanda. It is really hard when you take a set of pruners and you start cutting away at all of the branches and the life that tree has worked so hard to grow. But it is the best thing that you can do to make that tree strong, healthy, and produce a lot of really good fruit for you. The best time to prune is in the late winter or very early spring before the tree has budded out, like my apricot tree there. We got a lot of our pruning done earlier, but like this little mulberry tree, right now is the perfect time to prune it. And we've got it all in this nice little vase thing. So you imagine this tree at 40 feet, and suddenly it's not so hard to take those pruners and make those really important cuts. You got this. You can do this. And you can be brave like Amanda. And remember, don't be afraid to get a little bit of dirt under your fingernails and turn that dirt into delicious dinner for your family.